Hello and welcome back to the 10 Pint Podcast. We're here with me, Lucas Normal and Beefham.
Yes, lad.
And today we're here with very special guest, ex-footballer and current manager, Richard Brodie. How are we, mate?
Good, thanks, yeah. Good. Been a long day, but yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah, so we'll get started off with like we normally do. How did you what was your first memory of football and how did you get into football first of all?
Oh, God. So, I lost my dad at a young age. I lost my dad when I was 6. So my granddad brought us up. Yeah. And only child, no brothers, sisters, nothing. Just remember one night and he went, take the dog for a walk. Do you want to come? And I didn't really want to go, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But I thought, I'd go with him. We ended up walking the dog and I used to always take my football and just play football in the park with the dog. And bumped into someone who was a football manager. I was only 9 at the time because them days there wasn't under 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. You didn't start till you were 10.
Yeah.
I was 9. Come and play for us. Anyway, I went the season after and played, and I was playing a year below myself and scored something ridiculous, like 53 goals, I think it was. I wear glasses, but I couldn't wear lenses. I could hardly see anyway, but just played football and got that buzz for it, and it just carried on from there.
It's mad like it if you never went on that dog walk.
That's what I mean.
It's crazy.
I didn't even want to go in the first place. It was freezing. I just want to stay in the house, but I ended up going, and the best thing I'd done, you play grassroots football. Like I said, grassroots football developed so much to what it was at that day. So I was 9 playing under 11s. So we had no small-sided games. It was just straight into a full pitch, and that's just what it was. And that was it, the start.
Yeah, but where are you from? So I think I seen you were born in Gateshead.
I was born in Newcastle. Don't let me mum hear you say Gateshead. Born Newcastle General Hospital, which isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
But we lived on the Gateshead side of the water.
Yeah.
So, hence the Sunderland connection as well. Obviously, losing my dad, my uncle took us to watch Sunderland, and Sunderland's this side of the water to what we were on, even though it's a little bit further.
Yeah.
So, end up supporting Sunderland, and born Newcastle, support Sunderland, love them.
Is that rivalry more intense, would you say, than Everton and Liverpool?
Oh, it's a tough one. I'd say, from my experience, obviously I've lived Newcastle, lived here.
Yeah.
I'd say the two of them and Celtic Rangers are probably the biggest three. I know you've got Arsenal, Tottenham and United City, but I mean, I've been in Newcastle, Sunderland, I've been in the Sunderland end, and I've been in Newcastle end as a Sunderland fan, which I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
What score was it when you were in the Newcastle end?
It was 2-0 Newcastle. Michael Owen scored, and I think Nicky Butt, and I was sat there as a Sunderland fan, and my girlfriend at the time, her dad had a season ticket in Newcastle. I was sat on my hands like that. And as I'm walking up towards the Leazes end, you've been to St James's?
Yeah.
And like, people's going, alright broads, what are you doing here? I'm going, I had a hood on, everything. I'm thinking, shut up lads, that is good. And we got beat 2 and I just wanted to dive out and go. I've been in the Sunderland end as well, obviously at the Stadium of Light, and Brilliant.
So going back to your own career, like when did it start becoming more serious? You mentioned like sort of as a youth player.
So that was 9, so we got to sort of 15, 16, and there was like sort of interest. So obviously I played the district, played the county, played England under 16s when I was 15, and Redruth Boys Club, which Redruth Boys Club is a gated club, the likes of Gaza come out of.
Yeah.
So you had, that's the gated side, Redruth, Gaza, and you had the Newcastle side, Wall's End, which was like Steve Watson, Lee Clark, Alan Shearer, they come from that side, but I was the gated side, and then I was obviously playing district county, and so the level we're playing at now was Skem, so probably northern, so we northwest counties, so we're the Northern Prem West, so the Northern League in Newcastle is the equivalent. Ended up playing men's football at 15. I was only getting £15 a game, but at the time, like a young kid, and
was it a baptism of fire then?
It was. I was fearless though. I was absolutely fearless, and so Redruth kicked off at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, so I'd play at 1 o'clock, finish at 2:45, and Wickham in the Northern League, the man's team, would name me as a sub. I'd just get a message off the manager saying your strip's hung up when you get there. So I'd get there at probably like 20 to 4 at half time, but I'd be on the bench. But it was such a learning curve, and this is what I'm trying to say to young lads now. You need to learn from things like that. Learn being around men. I had to learn around being men, and it was difficult because some of these lads, good players who'd come down from a good level, had a good job, couldn't go professional, but hard as nails, man.
Yeah.
And I was cheeky. I was like to the point where, but sort of a little bit too close to the bone sort of thing, and yeah, I've stamped on, kicked on, and that's why people sign us in the end, because I got up and got on with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out now in the street and have a fight, but you have to be tough.
Yeah. Do you think that's like a bit of an issue with some of the, especially Premier League under 23 players? Like they're just in that sort of safety blanket of playing against each other, and then like, because we've had people on the podcast, haven't we, where you say they're in League 2, League 1, or like the Conference, and when a Premier League player drops down, they proper can't act the physicality of it.
I'm just going to say that you've took the words out of my mouth. I remember, I played 600 games in the Conference, and I've seen so many lads come on loan from. Remember a lad at Aldershot, Charlie. I can't think of his second name now. What a player! Training, keep ball, unreal. Never give it away. Played Braintree away in the Conference. Couldn't hack it. Middle of the park.
Yeah.
Lads who wanted to kick him, wanted to get stuck in, leave one on him. So great in training, but let's be honest, lads, there's no medals in training, is there?
What club did you get him from?
Brighton.
Really? Yeah. So
Brighton under 23s, yeah.
So how do you think they bridge that gap though? Like, do you think loaning out is a better option then?
I think loaning out's a better option, but
yeah,
I think these academies they get mollycoddled, don't they? They get their arses wiped for them. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's no like. All right, there's discipline, but the game's changed. So I just had the same conversation this afternoon. The game's changed so much. You can't shout at a young kid anymore. You can't give him a good old telling off, because ultimately it's classed as bullying, for example. And
yeah,
sometimes people have to look in the mirror and take a few home truths. Not good enough, or they've not done the job. Then you get told, end off.
Yeah. Do you find that, obviously being a manager now, do you find that hard not like sort of berating people when they're, do you know what I mean?
I got an opportunity to manage the football club, and I'm only 35. I've always wanted to manage it, to come along a little bit sooner than I thought. But you know yourselves, being from the area, historically, Scam United, a big non-league football club, and I'm so proud that I got the opportunity. Wasn't proud. Well, I was proud after 6 games, but I lost the first 6, and I'm thinking, where's this win coming from? But I think you've got to. My best playing days were for a manager called Martin Foyle. Don't know if you know Martin Foyle, Port Vale, absolute legend. But I wasn't a bit of meat. I was a human being.
Yeah.
End of the day, whatever job you do. You're a footballer because you're good at playing football. You're a joiner because you're good at being a joiner. But end of the day, you're still a human being. People have to treat you like a human being.
Yeah.
I was cared for by him, and ultimately he got the best out of us. So now I try and speak to my lads properly. You know, I said from day one, I'll be honest, and the lads have been great, and I love it. It takes over your life, even though it's part-time, but I absolutely love it, and you've just got to treat people the right way. It's not what you ask someone to do, it's how you're asked to do it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
What's sort of your goal for this season then with Scam?
Well, I've just got promoted, so obviously I've been in charge 7 games, and brought Mike Smith in as an assistant, Jack Hook coach, got Kaz as the physio, and backroom staff brilliant. And we're now, I think I've made 6-7 signings maybe, and the club's coming together, the players are coming together. I'm big on, you have to sign the right lads. They've got to be a good player, albeit but I don't sign a dickhead in the dressing room. They have to be good lads as well. You know, ultimately the chairman said, you know, stay in the division for the season because we've just got promoted, but I honestly think we're better than that. I might be speaking out of turn, you know, and if we finish, you know, 1 place below relegation, then we've done our job. But I think my ambition is to go and be a lot better and finish a lot higher, because the players we've got and the players that we could potentially bring in to improve, we'll finish a lot higher, hopefully. Yeah.
So going back to like your playing career, then, do you remember your first like who was your first club that you played for?
I signed for York.
Yeah.
Was playing non-league for Newcastle Benfield. Done well in the FA Cup. They asked to sign us after the game, and the club had said, can we keep Broads until the FA Trophy, which ended up being from October till January. Anyway, I signed for York, and we played Altrincham away, and I was sub, and we were 3-0 up, and he threw me on. Your professional debut at Altrincham for York City, big club. 64 minutes he threw me on, and I scored after 66. the keeper's parried one. And honestly, I'm not even as close. I'm closer than I am to you now. And it's just, the best debut ever.
That's a dream, that, isn't it?
The keeper's parried it, and you're like, go on, thanks very much. And I'm off. I'm like, this is great. And I went on my phone after the game, and my messages were just, you never had WhatsApp then, it was just text messages. And I think there was 50 odd text messages because it was on Sky Sports News. It had like popped up.
Yeah.
So, honestly, what a feeling. And then from that day, I thought, I fancy this, like, I'm going to have a right good go.
Yeah. Well, what do you think you would have done? Like, was that like full time then?
Yeah,
like,
full time. Yeah.
Is that in the conference?
Conference, yeah.
So like that season, like what was it like as a season overall for you then?
So I only signed in the January, so I only had sort of 3-4 months as a pro, and it took a lot of getting used to be honest. It took like, you've come from part-time football to full-time football, and at the time you were getting fans of sort of crowds of 3,000, 4,000 to them, were doing well. But like the little bits of, someone said, you'll be tired after training, and people think, you train for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it takes it out of you. It's physically and mentally demanding, because I wasn't used to that. Albeit I was going to work at 7 in the morning, coming in, going training, getting in at 11 o'clock when I was part-time. But this professional game just took it out of you, like, and took it a while to get used to, and the little bits and bobs of being a pro that you had, the etiquette sort of thing, took a while to get used to.
How far away from Newcastle is York?
90 miles. So
did you have to move then?
No, there was about 7 of us from the northeast, so we used to car share. About an hour and a half, and then when I signed my next contract, when I stayed, they got us a train pass. So the train was like 50 minutes. Brilliant.
That's not bad, that, like 50 minutes.
I could get any train, any half hour, any time of day, so it was great, like.
Sound now. What was sort of like your favourite goals you scored at York?
Obviously the debut one, but remember we played Luton at home in the semi-final of the playoff. Easter weekend it was, 2010, and we got absolutely battered, and I mean, if it had been a boxing match, it would have been stopped. They've hit the post, the bar, they've hit every. How they've not scored, I'll never know in a million years. In the last kick of the game, got a free kick that's never a free kick, and our goalie's took it on the edge of the box, our own box, and he's just went bang long. And Sean Blackett, the centre half, jumped but misjudged it, but he's actually took a little touch off it, and I've just gone through it. I remember touching the ball 5 times in the whole game, and we won 1-0 in the last minute, and there was like, I think there was 7,000-8,000 there, and the place went, it's on the YouTube, that the place went up like,
just carnage.
Brilliant. And went there on the bank holiday Monday, beat them there, so we ended up going to Wembley. I've got beaten the playoff final off Oxford that day, like, but what a goal. And there was another one against Crewe in the FA Cup. They were League 2, 2-1 down with 10 minutes to go. We equalised 2-2. Then I've scored later on, and I've managed to shuffle through a few, and just right foot as well, I'm left footed, just smashed it in the top. Brilliant.
Do you think about goals like that, or is it just instinctive? Because sometimes you hear about like people saying, it's like Calvert-Lewin might be a good example of this, when he doesn't have to think about it.
When did he last play?
Well, hopefully he scores tonight and we win, but yeah, like when he has to think about it, it seems like he overthinks it, some strikers, but when it's like instinctive, it's better.
Yeah, so it's just, everyone's different for me. I mean, you look at the likes of people taking a penalty. There's some players I've played with who couldn't take a penalty because they've got time to think. But there's players that comes in the box, and just because they just think, right, I'm going to have to swing my foot at it or put my head on it, and the score, it's like instinctive. So every player's different. Like, I always took penalties, and I like to think, I had a lot of weaknesses to my game, but in the penalty area, whether I had time or didn't have time, I thought I was decent at both, to be honest.
Yeah. What's it like taking a pen? Do you know where you're going to put it?
Yeah. If
before the game, or as you just stood there?
Before the game.
Yeah.
The season at York, when I scored the 37, we got 12 penalties that season. 12, and I took all 12, and I scored 10 and missed 2, and I went the same way every single one.
Mad that.
That's mad. Do you think keepers, do you reckon them 2 keepers just
so the gaffer took us off them at Wembley, didn't he? So, because I took them all season, we got to Wembley, the gaffer went, bro, look, you went the same way all season, if we get one today, you're not on them. I'm like, oh my God.
Nightmare that, like.
Yeah.
Someone else.
And you know what, the gaffer was brilliant as well, Martin Foyle. I was like, Gaffer, like, I've took him all season, haven't I? He went, yeah, but he'll know where he'll go. I went, I'll change, I promise I'll change. I'm thinking, I want to score at Wembley, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you just mentioned, did you play at Wembley then, against Oxford?
Played it, yeah. Played there 3 times, lost 3 times.
Well, I suppose, what's it like playing there in that though? Is it...
Brilliant. I mean, the first time was a trophy final, York, Stevenage, we got beat 2-0.
Yeah.
Then I went in the playoff final with York, got beat 3-1 off Oxford, and then went with Grimsby in the trophy final and got beat on penalties off Wrexham. Actually missed a penalty in the shootout, to be fair.
Did you put it that way?
I went over the bar when, to be fair, it's probably still going now.
So yeah, moving on from York, did you go to Crawley next?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like? Because I think did you play at Old Trafford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bought me for a lot of money. They bought this £275,000.
Yeah.
I think it's still the record non-league fee between 2 non-league clubs.
Really, yeah.
Not ideal, I'll be honest. Money was great. Went there, Steve Evans. Do you know Steve or not?
Yeah.
Is he the bit like quite big fella?
Yeah. So
That just screams at everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much in a nutshell what he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, York weren't in a position to turn down that kind of money, so I went there, and you know it was out of my hands really. I didn't want to go. I'll be honest, I didn't want to go. The club told me, so went there. Brilliant as far as like won the conference, played at Old Trafford, and I'll be honest, Old Trafford was miles better than Wembley.
Was it?
Old Trafford was unbelievable, man. 74,500 there, full house at Old Trafford. Got beat 1-0, hit the bar in the last minute.
I watched that yesterday. The little looped header.
Yeah, the header.
Did you think it was in?
Thought it was in.
Oh.
We had one corner in the full game, 1-0 down. Wes Brown scored. One corner in the full game, the 93rd minute. And I've headed it, I'm thinking, that's going in there. And it's hit the bar and bounced down and come out.
Oh, that must be the worst feeling.
We were on 10 grand a man to get a replay.
Really?
Yeah. So that half an inch cost us 10 grand.
Oh, that's hard.
What's that like playing the next week then? So I presume you're playing at like a lot smaller ground.
So on the Saturday we played United on ITV.
Yeah.
74. On Tuesday night we played Southport. There was 800.
Bit of a come down.
Yeah, 800. I think we scraped past them 1-0. I think, but it's like after the Lord Mayor's show type of thing. You go and you think, oh my god. But that's your bread and butter of the league. You've got to go, and we ended up going to win the conference. And listen, what a squad of players we had, like, you know, to win the conference, and then went to Fleetwood and won it again. So
yeah,
as far as that's concerned, you know, brilliant. But I still shouldn't have left York, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know when you get drawn against United, is everyone like, yes, like we're playing at Old Trafford, or is it like, oh, we've got to go to Old Trafford and play?
No, everyone's just buzzing off it. Listen,
yeah.
As a conference club, that was the 5th round, by the way. So to get to the 5th round,
was it? Yeah, the 5th round.
So did you beat in the 4th and the 3rd?
We beat in the round before, the 4th round, Torquay, believe it or not, who were in our division. So when we won the 3rd round against Derby, you're thinking, right, let's get a good club here, and we got Torquay in the same division. You're like, beat Torquay, got United. 2nd round was Swindon.
Yeah.
Beat Swindon, and the 1st round was Newport, Swindon, Derby, Torquay, then United.
They're all quite big clubs as well, aren't they? And that's like a boss FA Cup run. What team was it the other year that got to, was it round 6?
Sutton.
No,
Lincoln.
Lincoln. They play at Arsenal. They beat Burnley away.
Beat Burnley and went to Arsenal, that's right, yeah.
That's like the magic of that FA Cup, isn't it?
FA Cup's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to love it, and the shocks, and it's what you play football for, and everyone loves the FA Cup, and it's great for the little clubs to get it, you know, financially as well, especially the state the countries are now and the state non-league footballs, and you want these little clubs to get a little few quid, don't you?
Yeah. It's like Marine the other year, they got Tottenham, to the Tottenham, didn't they?
But again, lockdown killed it a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, like.
Yeah.
But so you won the conference, at Crawley. So would you be then promoted to League 2?
Yeah.
So did you stay there for that season?
No, I went on a season-long loan to Fleetwood in the conference and won the conference again.
And then did you go back to Crawley after that?
No, I went to Morecambe in the league. Made my football league debut at Morecambe, yeah.
In League 2, yeah?
Yeah.
But was that like a big step up then, the conference to League 2?
Do you know what? It wasn't really,
no.
I'll be honest. The top half of the conference could quite easily beat anyone in the bottom half of League 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I first signed in the conference at York, there was probably 7 full-time teams and the rest were part-time. Now it's the other way around. There's more full-time than part-time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the conference in League Two, like, but at the time the money was more in the conference than it was League Two.
Why do you think that is? You think surely with like the TV right to League Two and just the coverage and everything?
I think I just caught Crawley when the owners come in. I think I caught Fleetwood when the new owner come in, and they were trying to buy the best players at that time to get them promoted. Like, yeah, maybe you can call it lucky, you can call it unlucky, whatever you want. But
yeah, how did that season go then in League Two?
Could have been better.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Scored 6 goals from Morecambe in 23 games, I think it was. But I was on loan from Crawley, and again, it all comes down to money. The Morecambe, small club, couldn't afford me money from Crawley, so he ended up going back to the conference. I went back to Grimsby, and after that I'd just become like bouncing from club to club, which was difficult, really difficult. You look at like going back to York and Martin Foyle, you talk about managers that look after you and care for you. I was searching for that manager, and I just never found him, to be fair. Never found, even though I went to big clubs. Yeah. Not that I every time I pull the shirt on I give 100%, 110%, but I just couldn't find a home, I'll be honest. Couldn't find one. Yeah.
Are they always short-term contracts as well in them divisions?
Probably 12 months, yeah. I was lucky with Crawley, I got a 3-year contract, so they were throwing money about at the time, but yeah, probably 12 months.
Is that hard then? Like, because you're thinking, I might be on good money for 12 months, but then you've got that uncertainty of not knowing what's coming next. Yeah,
and you get, especially when I got a little bit older and obviously had kids and stuff, and you're like, it's got to come to a point now where you can't just be gambling on getting, because what happens if you get injured, or you know, what happens if you don't get offered something just for the sake of a manager? So you've got to kind of look at it that way. It gets harder as it's not so bad as a young kid when you've got no priorities or anything, but when the kids were born I thought something's got to change a little bit, and I got very, very lucky, I'll be honest. I got really lucky. I went to Solihull Moors in the conference. 3 games in, Liam McDonald took us there. He got sacked after 3 games. I'm thinking, here we'll go again. Richard Money come in, who was manager of Luton when I'd scored for York against him, so I was never going to play for him. He got rid of us on the bus on the way back from Ebbsfleet. He said this isn't going to work, this, mate. Took us all the way to Southampton and told us on the way back it's not going to work. I'd come on and done alright as well, to be fair.
Why did he say that? You don't know now, even still?
Probably a clash of personalities, I'll be honest.
Yeah. That's harsh, that though, on the bus back.
Well, why not just tell us before?
Yeah.
Anyway, Liam phoned me and he went, funnily enough, I was sat on the Sunday in a pub watching Everton. Everton played someone that day, can't remember. Phone rang. He said, what you up to? I went, not a lot. He said, I've just got a job, do you want to come and help us out for a couple of weeks? By the way, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Rushall Olympic, who were based in Walsall, who are the equivalent to like the Northern Prem, so it's like the Southern, the Central one, so the league below the Conference North. He said, come and help us out for a couple of weeks, bottom of the league. I'd never heard of them, lads, I'd never heard of them. He said, I'll give you the same money you were on at Solihull, and I'll look after you training wise, it's only part time. So I thought, I had a little think, and I'm thinking, I just had my son, so it kind of suited.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday. I was doing a little bit of coaching at Southport College with the football lads, and I thought, yeah, so that 2 weeks ended up being like 2.5 years. So once you go part time, and then my son got a little bit older, and you're wanting to do stuff with him, and they're travelling Southport to Walsall 3 times a week. Yeah. That M6 is a killer, man. So, and you end up going to Skem, and that was that. Got offered a coaching role off Paul McNally after that, which you know, very thankful for, and that was that. The rest is history, as they say.
When did you have a plan to end? Do you have a plan to end your career? Do you have a number now?
To be honest, the lads will be laughing now if they listen to this. I could probably still play. I do train.
Yeah.
But like I said, the opportunity arose to take the job, and I was on the bench for the first 4 games, and there's a couple of times when you're on the bench you're like we're 2-1 down, and I'm thinking I'll get my kit on here. But, you know, ultimately it's up to them, and you know, I still probably could play, but I've got to. I'm not going to play forever. I have to focus on this job that I've got and give 110% and make this work.
Yeah. Why do you think you never stayed in like the league, like League Two, longer? Because you scored like a lot of goals in your career as well.
Yeah. I didn't help myself at times, being left out and sulking and dealing with things the wrong way, should we say. Off the field wasn't great, and you get left out and you're living away from home in a hotel. And I was shit with my own company. Like, I mean, shit. Like, you finish training, you're like, what are we going to do? And you go for a bet, or you go and have a pint. And that was just how it was. It wasn't because I liked betting. It wasn't because I liked drinking. It was just, I wanted company. Yeah. And I really struggled on my own. Struggled living away in a hotel. People think it's great. Hotels, cars, you know, with a restaurant and a bar downstairs, but it's not. It's lonely. It is really lonely. And at the time, I had no missus, no kids or nothing, so I wish I did at that time. And I probably things would have been a lot different, like, I'll be honest.
Yeah, the lad who sorted this out for us told us about a story about you throwing a pie at someone at a match.
So at Grimsby, missed that penalty dinner in the trophy final, got released the next day. A couple of years later, Southport played Grimsby, and like I said, I am the nicest person in the world. I'd buy you a drink, whatever. But on that pitch, I see red, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's a passion for the game. It's a passion to win, a passion to do well, and it's like win at all costs. Like, that's all I wanted to do, win. However I won, I didn't care. Yeah. Remember warming up, and this fella's like giving it loads. Grimsby fan, Southport to play Grimsby, and I was sub, so I was warming up, and he's giving it like loads, and he sort of leant over the barrier like that, and he was like giving us, and I just, for some stupid reason, I went over, and he's calling me all sorts, and I just whacked the pie, like clean out his hand, and the pie just all over the plate. He just bought it, like kind of burnt my hand a little bit as well. And I don't know, and had to get the stewards to move my car. Because they were threatening to go and do me tyres and everything. So,
Did you ever have any other interactions with fans?
The Luton fans that day, when we beat them away at Luton, you'll have seen it on Sky Sports News when they invaded the pitch and throwing coins. They wouldn't let us down. So the tunnel's there, for example, and we're trying to get down the tunnel. So the pitch is that way. Goals are there. The York fans are behind that goal, 10,000, and we're trying to get. And the Luton fans come on the pitch and barricaded that off, so we had to run into. It's on YouTube. We had to run into the stands. All the hooligans were throwing coins at us. Honestly, it was scary. It was absolutely scary. Really, I
can't even imagine what that's like. It must be like a zombie apocalypse. Loads of people
they were coming for me. Like, I'd scored the goal, so I found like a steward's jacket, like a high-vis jacket. Put that on. Yeah. Like to camouflage myself in with, like, pretend I was a steward, so and throwing stuff at me. Oh, madness, honestly.
Have you ever have you had any like fights on the pitch? You see people pushing each other, but no one ever actually seems to actually have a fight. Is that different than like the Conference and League 2?
There's been scuffles, like, but it's always handbags, isn't it? Let's be honest. I've been sent off more times than you can imagine, but not for that. It's more like the elbow, like you're trying to centre forward, trying to head the ball. But there has been altercations, like, in, you know, you see all these things about players fighting on the training ground amongst themselves, and I don't mind that. If any of my lads done that at training, sometimes you want a bit of that. You want a bit of passion. You want shake hands and get on with it. But I'm old school, so whoever I had a fight with on the pitch, after the game, I'd sit down and have a drink with him and shake hands, and that's just the way it was. But yeah, there has been a few altercations, like, I must be honest.
But who's like the player that's most like that you've played with?
As in,
like the most like sort of confrontational in a way, like just loves having a scrap on the pitch.
I remember a lad of Fleetwood called Jamie Maguire, just a hothead, just a general hot, and that's coming from me, so that's quite rich, to be fair. Just loved to tackle and loved just a little bit of scrap or argument, and he was like a cannonball waiting to explode. But then afterwards, the nicest person in the world. So, but again, you know, we had dressing rooms, Crawley and Fleetwood. We had dressing rooms of absolute characters, and I mean characters, and that helped us win the league. Like, it really did help us win the league. As much as having the ability, the dressing room of just not a care in the world. We just get in, go again. We go and have a drink together. We go out together. Yeah, we have a fight together. Get drunk together. Honestly, brilliant.
Is it the alright to drink in them leagues? Because you see like that you're not really allowed to drink as a footballer, but
Well,
is it more like accepted? Like, would the manager sort of tell you off if he knew, or would he sort of turn a blind eye to it?
Different managers, everyone's different, and I think you have to have a night out. Obviously, listen, you can't have a drink Thursday, Friday before a game, and you can't go out, but the old Tuesday club as footballers, you go out on a Tuesday and you have something to eat, you're off on a Wednesday, you have a couple of drinks, and it's team spirit for me. You just got to, you know, everything in moderation sort of thing. I think you, like now, my lads at football, we're part-time, I make them go in the bar. Listen, they don't have to have an alcoholic drink, but sit together, have something to eat, have a drink. It's all team spirit for me, and you have to build that, and you know, every little thing that you little 1-2% that can improve your team spirit's massive. You have to have a good dressing room, otherwise you, whether you're full-time, part-time, whether you're Sunday morning team, you've got to have a good dressing room.
Yeah. What number was you throughout your career?
I'm superstitious, I'm a weirdo, and the year I scored me 30 odd goals for York, I had number 16, and I just carried on with that number at York. Then when I went back, I got number 9, which I was desperate for, but I'm thinking, well, I really want number 16, but someone had it, so number 9 was free, so I thought the second time I'll take number 9, but I was 9 or 10 to be honest most of the time.
Yeah. Do you have any other superstitions before matches?
Yeah, I have to put my left boot and my left shin pad on before my right boot and my right shin pad, and this sounds weird. My little boy now, I do the same with him. When I put his boots and shin pads on, I put his left one on, and me ex-missus will say, what are you doing that for? Stop being a weirdo. And I just something that I have to do. I don't know why. I don't know.
Do you remember when you started doing it?
I done it once, scored a hat-trick, and I thought I've just got to keep on doing it. I've done it ever since, and that was like as a young age, like yeah. Yeah.
Do you know anyone else that has any like weird superstitions you play with?
There'll be a few. Some lads. I'm trying to think. For example, Big Steve McNulty, who's managing a bootle there. He used to take his top off at half time. Don't know why. And then
don't even change it. Just
put it back on again when he went out. And there's loads of different things, and you meet. Football's great because you meet loads of different. End of the day, they're just work colleagues. At the end of the day, you probably keep in touch with a handful of them.
Yeah.
So you meet loads of weird and wonderful people in different superstitions, different interests, different backgrounds, and ultimately you all club together to be a team to go and try and win a game of football.
Yeah.
What's like this? Who's been like? You don't have to name them, but has anyone ever been like proper strange in a weird way in the dressing room you've been in?
No, not. I wouldn't say strange. No, obviously you had different lads that had the beliefs in God and things, and done things different ways. You had different religions that dealt with things differently. But I wouldn't say it's strange, and everyone, like I said, everyone's different, so you have to respect everyone's wishes in the way everyone is. But as long as at 3 o'clock they're pulling in the same direction, then you don't mind. Team nights out, they all come along, and we all just you get to know each other. As you're a full-time footballer, you're on that bus, you've got to use the bus trip, for away games. Get to know people, get to mingle. I'm a big believer in that. Like,
yeah. Who's the best player you ever played with?
Wow. Well, straight away you're going to throw Jamie Vardy in, because he was different class.
Even then.
Yeah. Vards was right foot, left foot, pace. He had that little dink over the keeper. He still does it now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the keepers can't read it. And usually if you run at pace, when you go and finish the ball, you have to stop. He just done it at pace with both feet.
Yeah.
Vards was different class, and look, he's gone and done wonderful things, and good luck to him.
Was that at Fleetwood?
Yeah, Fleetwood, yeah.
So did you ever play as a 2 then?
Yeah.
It's not that like it, Jamievardy.
To be fair, if my touch was shit, he used to make my touch look unbelievable, because he was that quick. He was excellent. Played with a lad called, towards the end of his career, John Oster. Remember John Oster? Played for Everton, Sunderland. No. He come to Gateshead towards the end of his career. Oh wow! Played Premier League, just like a stroll in the park, playing the conference at Gateshead. Like, yeah.
Why do you think Vardy wasn't in why wasn't he at that level straight away that he is now, do you think?
I think listen, Vards is a bit of a lad from a council estate in Sheffield. He'll tell you the same himself. I think whatever his issues were with Halifax and Stockbridge, and he had a tag on and couldn't play night games, so there was a few issues that he had, which he's obviously dealt with and buried and moved on. So we all have issues. I've had them. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. But he maybe he's done it the right way sometimes, coming out in non-league football and moving on and coming through that way before you hit a pro club. Like we've said before about under 23s coming down. Sometimes if you've done that bit before, it's easier to adapt to being a pro. Like,
is that like pretty-much ritual he has too? Do you know when he has like however many Red Bulls and that all?
Oh, he was always on the Red. To be fair, he's probably gone up in the world now. He can afford Red Bull. He was on them shitty free ones. Yeah, the 49p ones or whatever. He can afford Red Bull now.
What was apart from Old Trafford and Wembley, what was like your favourite grounds to play at?
Well, when I was at Morecambe, I was very lucky. We drew Sunderland away in the Carling Cup, which, wow, my family were there to play at Sunderland, to play at the Stadium of Light in front of I think there was about 20,000 people there. We got beat. Martin O'Neill was in charge of Sunderland, and the two goal scorers were Adam Johnson and Stephen Fletcher, and they beat us 2-0, so that was special to me, like real special. But been dead lucky. Played at Derby, who were top of the Championship at the time. Played at Stoke in the FA Cup third round. Obviously Old Trafford. Just been really lucky in some of the grounds I've played at. Wembley brilliant, Old Trafford the best, but closest to my heart Sunderland. Like,
do you know when you're like, sort of, that's a bit of a conflict of interest being a fan, isn't it, of Sunderland and playing? Deep down you're sort of still a little bit made up that Sunderland won. No,
I wanted to go and win the game, and I remember coming off, and by the way, Martin O'Neill was unbelievable coming out of the dressing room, and I never forget during the game, I said, remember Lee Cattermole? I said to Lee Cattermole, I went, can I have your shirt, mate? Yeah, of course you can, big man. And he got dragged off. He's gone down the tunnel. I'm thinking I'm never getting his shirt, like. Doing the team talk after the game. Martin O'Neill coming out of our dressing room, done our team talk, and he was honestly so respectful, so saying how well we done as a League 2 side against the Premiership side. They played a full team, by the way, Sunderland. Titus Bramble, obviously Stephen Fletcher, Adam Johnson, James McLean, some good players playing that side. And I was in the shower and someone shouts, bro, they knock on the door, and this fella come in. It was Lee Cattermole. He went, where's your big number 10? And he had his shirt for us ready. I went, yeah, mate. I said, there's mine. I said, wash your car, wipe your ass with it, do what you want. But he took mine, and the club took 50 quid out of my wage as well for that. But yeah, no.
Did they?
Yeah, give me shirt away, yeah.
Worth it though?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's one of them moments,
and people slag, that's what I mean, people slag footballers off like Lee Cattermole, and he took the time. He didn't need to do that. He got took off. He could have went home, and he took the time to come out and give us his shirt. Like,
have you swapped shirts many other times then?
I've got a few in the house. Like called Jake Buxton at Derby when we played Derby. I got Julio Arcas after we played Middlesbrough in a pre-season game for York. Well, obviously Julio was big Sunderland, and got Julio Arcas. James Beattie.
Yeah, he's played for Everton, yeah.
After the Stoke game in the FA Cup, got beat. Another one again, got dragged off. Tony Pulis was in charge of Stoke. Peter Reid was assistant, and Beats got took off, and he waited in the tunnel and gave us his shirt after the game. So a couple of them. Owen Hargreaves after Old Trafford.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got Owen Hargreaves' shirt. Yeah,
really,
so
yeah.
There's a couple of good ones that I've got, and like I said, I'm proud of that. Like, to be honest.
Who's the best player you played against?
Against? Wow. You're gonna have to say at Old Trafford, Wayne Rooney come on, and he was out this world, like, just a different level. Quality.
Can you just tell, that it's just
and like I said, we played against some good players, but Wayne Rooney was class, like class.
Mad that, like Rooney.
Who was in goal that day for Old Trafford? Was it De Gea or was it Van der Sar?
Lindegaard, I think.
Was it Lindegaard? Yeah, I remember him. So like moving forward, like with your managerial career, like where do you think Skem will be in like 3 years, maybe 5 years time?
Listen, there's a lot of things going on off the pitch. We don't play at our ground at the minute. We're playing Burscough at the minute because obviously I don't know if you know the GMO, in Skem, the GMO Sports Park.
No.
It didn't pass a bounce test for the AstroTurf, so we're having to play at Burscough at the minute. A lot of plans in place for us to get back eventually. So this season's about stabilising. It's my first job, and can't run before you can walk, but we have to stabilise and hopefully touch wood. You know, the chairman's different class, and how he could stay as positive as he did after losing 6 games is beyond me, because he backed me, the staff, the players. He was excellent, and he's just said stabilise the season and we'll go again next season. So keep getting results, stay up, stay in a job, and next season and we'll have a good go. And listen, I'm ambitious. I don't want to be in the Northern Premier League West. I want to be in the Northern Premier League, and I want to move forward. And I hope that's with Scam United, because I believe and I want to be that person to take them forward.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you like sort of model yourself in terms of style of play?
No, listen, we have a style of play. I'm a big believer in man management. I deal with the players and try and deal with it the right way. I've got 2 excellent coaches. I've got an excellent scout that you might think at this level sounds daft, but I've got reports on every team in the division. We do so our training Tuesday, Thursday is not just training for training's sake. Our training this week, Tuesday, Thursday, is working towards Colne on Saturday. Yeah. Who we're going to go and play, and we've got a report on them, get videos. Our games get videoed. I just try and get the right personnel for that particular game. I'm in a situation Saturday where I've never been in before because I've won last week. So do we change it? Do we keep it the same? It's if the lads are watching now, they'll be like, but no, I fully believe you've got to give players a chance after winning a game and carry on a bit of momentum. That's what we need now. But at the same time, different games need different personnel, and Saturday was the strongest bench we've had to pick from. Look at the bench, you've got players that can come on and match what's coming off, and I think that's massive.
Do you know, in terms of subs at that level, is it the same as Premier League, 5 subs, or is it still 3?
We can name 5 but only make 3.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so once you've made your 3, so I'd made 3 Saturday, and then someone said my hamstring's gone. I was like, oh. But yeah, no, it's challenging, but it's the best challenge that I could ever have at the minute, and it's something to focus on. It's something I'm desperate to do well with. It's something that I give me all. Me family will tell you that I spend half my life on this. Even when you come in from training, it takes over your life, but it'll be worth. And all that 6 weeks of stress was worthwhile on Saturday at 5 o'clock when that final whistle went and we won a game. So if I can carry on that feeling and keep it going, then it's only going to get stronger, I hope.
Yeah, do you know them lads, like, obviously are they all part-time?
Yeah.
Do they have other jobs too then?
Yeah.
What happens, right, if one of them comes to you and says, I can't play on Saturday because I'm working, or like, I want to do overtime on Saturday because I need this amount of money or whatever?
So this is the issue I'm having at the minute. I've tried to drive standards, and your standards are, if you sign for a semi-professional football club, you train Tuesday night, Thursday night, and you play on a Saturday. That's the non-negotiables. So if you commit to that, then you're committed.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not the main source of income. I understand that people have family and work commitments, and if that's the case, then so be it. You know, your work and your family comes first. You know, that's just the way it is. But if you can't play or you can't make it, then unfortunately that's your place lost, and someone else takes it, and you have to wait to get back in.
Yeah. That must be hard though, like, for someone, like, imagine you're on like a proper streak of scoring goals, and then you've got to choose between, like, I'm losing this amount of money and I need to pay bills. Like, is it full time for you or part time?
I'm part time, yeah.
But does it seem like it's full time?
It seems like it's full time, yeah. With the phone calls, yeah. But
what are you doing? How do you do anything else alongside?
I'm a taxi driver.
Really?
Yeah, taxi driver, and I'm in the academy at Morecambe. I do the under 12s and 13s in Morecambe's academy as well.
Yeah. So
I'm very, very busy at the minute, as well as my own kids as well. So me lad plays. My lad's brilliant. Yeah. Only 6. My lad can half play. Yeah. He's football and swimming. My daughter's dancing and swimming, and chaos.
Is it harder managing like under 12s, under 13s, or is it harder managing men?
See, you've got to. It's a skill in itself, innit, to be able to deal with kids.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10 you're dealing with the parents, aren't you? So you have to deal with kids, and then you go to a man's environment where you can swear, you can say this, you can shout and bawl. Whereas at Morecambe you have to sort of follow a curriculum of how they want to work things, which is fine. So you've got to be able to manage both sides of things, and like I said, it's a skill to deal with different people at different ages, at different levels of development, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you're a Sunderland fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's your sort of thoughts on them at the minute, Sunderland?
need a centre forward. Like, got Ellis Sims, haven't we, from Everton? But he's hurt his toe. Listen, what a massive club, and no one's got a divine right to be in the Premier League, but they're a Premier League club, aren't they? If you look at the teams in the Premier League, they're a massive club, and a club that's really close. And just to get promoted last season was a massive relief. Had a good start.
Yeah.
A little bit shocked when Alex Neil decided to go to Stoke. I wasn't quite sure on that.
Oh, that's a mad one.
Yeah,
I think that must be because of money.
Got to be money, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Got to be, because he's a Scotsman, so he's halfway to Scotland anyway in Sunderland. And it's got to be money. But listen, I liked him. I didn't want him, but I liked him. And the more I listened to him, the more I get all the emails through on my phone, listen to all his interviews and pre-match, post-match. And then Tony Mowbray, again, funny one, but you know, to be in the top half of the table, we've just got promoted after sort of 10-12 games. It's
so tight at the minute. That's so the Championship.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 points between first and about 11 for something like that. So,
but it just shows how much Ross Stewart and Ellis Sims we relied on them, because we went to Bristol City with them two up front and won 3-2 away at Bristol City. Now they're both injured. We can't score a goal.
Yeah.
So I think we had 2-0-0s. Preston at home, Blackpool at home 0-0.
Yeah.
Obviously beat Wigan last week, but last night was disappointing against Blackburn.
Do you say Tony Mowbray is the manager now?
Yeah.
Is he? Wasn't he Middlesbrough manager at one point? What's that rivalry like? Because obviously Newcastle Sunderland's a rivalry. But
so you've got, if you look at the coastline, you've got Newcastle, 17 miles Sunderland, then 40 miles to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, so is it not?
Sunderland's bang in the middle and Newcastle and Middlesbrough, not bang in the middle, but over a couple of miles. Newcastle Sunderland's the worst, but obviously Sunderland Middlesbrough as well. They beat us a couple of weeks back, didn't they? That was the first day I got the scam job, the Monday night, because I was dying to watch it and my phone kept going. So they're both big rivalries. Like the North East, massive for football, massive, and I think you'll probably understand that yourselves. It's like down here, they just love the football, they really do. But Sunderland Newcastle, massive. Sunderland Middlesbrough, not so big, but again.
Who's your favourite Sunderland player of all time?
Kevin Phillips.
His record is ridiculous. I reckon it's underrated.
He won the European Golden Boot, didn't he?
Did he?
30 goals, and he's manager South Shields now in the league above us. So I was just, we got knocked out the FA Cup with Scam. I'm thinking, if we don't get a big club, get South Shields, and I can stand next to Kevin Phillips in the dugout, like complete legend, absolute legend.
I think he scored 30 goals in the Premier League season.
He did. I think 10 were penalties, but who cares?
Where did Sunderland finish that season then?
They finished 7th twice under Peter Reid, didn't they? 7th in the Premier League.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 2 seasons in a row.
Is he your favourite Sunderland manager then, of all time?
Peter Reid's class, man.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That'd be a good podcast, wouldn't it?
I've met him a couple of times as well, and he's just a proper fella as well. Yeah, which you get, don't you? Because I think Scousers and Geordies are quite similar, working class people who just love football and love chatting football, and just end of the day, Peter Reid's an Everton fan, isn't he? Let's be honest, and I'm a Sunderland fan, so you just talk football. It's great. Yeah.
You got any more questions or we finish up?
So what was your personal favourite season you ever played then?
Just the season at York when I think it was 2010-11, 37 goals in the conference, and I nearly got released the season before, so to go and score 37 goals at that level, personally brilliant. To get us in the playoffs, brilliant. Disappointed that we didn't get promoted, because that would have been the icing on the cake, but personally brilliant. And what a football club. I've done bits and bobs of work for them, podcasts, and I've been back on match days and done sort of Q&As, etc. And just a club that's really, really close to my heart. And they got promoted last season. I went back with Steve Watson. Remember Steve Watson? Everton? Yeah. Watto was the manager. I went and he let me come in and coach the first team when I was doing my badges and stuff. So great club, and that was my best season as a player.
We say they were your favourite club as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'd do anything for that club. And if I sit here and say, do I want to manage them one day? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You could say I want to manage Sunderland, but that's unrealistic. To manage York would be very, very well. I'd lose my arm to do it.
What? How's that work then with all the sort of coaching badges?
So if you, I got a little bit of a head start because all the ex-pros after lockdown, if you've been an ex-pro, they got fast-tracked to the front of the queue. Yeah. Because there was a big backlog, so we got fast-tracked, and you go through and you pay a fee that's less than what normal Joe Blogs would pay, because you pay your PFA subscription.
Yeah.
And then go and do your badges, you do your practical, you do your theory, and then passed off, and that's that, and you can move on to your next one. So I'm on my UEFA B at the minute.
Yeah.
So the next one's the UEFA A licence, and the world's your oyster. Your B's the one that you need for everything. The B's the one that you need to get jobs in academies, or to get jobs in football league clubs. Like,
yeah. Do you have any regrets over your career, like transfers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I shouldn't have signed for Crawley.
Was there any other interest from other clubs at the time?
I was due to sign for Colchester, who was 7th in League One at the time.
Yeah.
But the fee was only 120 grand plus 20 grand, and Crawley come in with 275 grand, so the club accepted that and not that. So they were 7th in League One at the time and ended up getting promoted to the Championship last season.
Do you not have a say in that then, though?
No.
That must be so frustrating.
Yeah. So, I'm sat here now who's played 600 games in the conference, but due to one person's judgment on finance, they but they sold me to Crawley, and I could have went there. They went the Championship that season, Colchester. So and you just never know. But no point in looking back. No point in looking back. Look forward, and had a very good career. Met some great people, some fantastic memories, and all I can say now is that I'm thankful for this opportunity to manage, and I really want to be a better manager than I was a player. I'll be honest. I want to be a better manager than I was a football player.
Yeah. What level do you think you can get to in terms of management? Like, obviously you said you'd love to manage Sunderland, but is there a goal where you think I'm definitely going to do that?
I wouldn't. You just don't know what's around the corner. You just results, and football's a family. Non-league football is a small family. Trust me, it's a family, and people talk, and if you do the right things, you just don't know what's around the corner. So all I can do, I'm not focused on anything at the minute other than getting Schem United to the next level, and I really think I can. And if that takes me 2 seasons, if that takes me 4 seasons, then I'll make sure it's done. And I think the club deserve that. They've had a lot of shit over the past few years with grounds and money, etc. And we're playing a burst school, we're getting 180, 200 people, where if we're in Schem, we're getting 350, 400 people. But there's no, so we'll get there, and I'm going to be the one to do that. Yeah.
It's nice. And also, what's your favourite pint?
My favourite drinks, you're going to laugh here. No, Boddington's bitter. Nice pint of bodies. I love a pint of bodies. But
I think that's the first time we've had bitter.
Yeah, a pint of bodies, and just dead smooth. I used to go to do it in all the pubs, going to the match at the Stadium of Light. So that's how I ended up drinking it. Like, it's just dead smooth, and you can have a couple without being too drunk.
I've got another question. Name one forgotten Premier League footballer, like an obscure footballer that no one will remember.
Oh wow! Is it a quiz question, or is it just?
No. You got to say the most obscure footballer that no one will remember, but when you hear it, they go, "Oh yeah, remember him."
Wow, that's.
We've had some good ones, haven't we? We've had like.
Do you have one? I have one.
Go on.
Ricardo Vazte.
What's a good one though? I'm trying to think. I've got one. Frederick Piquet. He's played for Portsmouth up front.
Was he at West Ham as well?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Michael Bridges, no?
Who did he play for?
Sunderland.
Did he play for Leeds as well?
Leeds.
Yeah, one of them.
That's
Michael
a good one,
Bridges, yeah. Michael Bridges scored goals as well, to be fair. Bridgie, yeah.
That's a good one. That's how we all done.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review on Spotify.
Thanks very much.
Nice one.
No problem, boys.